Well, let's run mongodb-help again. We obviously got many settings here. The settings at the bottom, for example, are related to Wired Tiger, which is our storage engine. And there we can basically use the default settings. You can change some configuration there if you know what you're doing. But in the scope of this course, we'll not dive into configuring our storage engine, but simply go with its default settings. You also got useful commands like repair, which is a great idea to run if you have any issues connecting and see warnings or errors related to database files being corrupted or anything like that. Directory per DB would be a setting you can add to not have a DB folder with your collection files stored all in the root folder, but instead they would be grouped in subfolders with one subfolder per database in your database environment, so to say. So if you have 4 databases, you would have 4 subfolders, and every subfolder would contain its collection and index files. We'll dive into indexes later in the course, by the way. You can also switch the storage engine. The default is Wired Tiger, and you should really use that. Theoretically, MongoDB supports multiple storage engines, but Wired Tiger is the default one, is a high-performant one, is a really good storage engine. So unless you really know what you're doing and you got a strong reason to change it, you should not change the storage engine. SSL configuration is something I'll come back to in the security and authentication module, so we can ignore this for now. The same is the case for sharding and replica sets. I'll touch on these options later in the course. And therefore, we're pretty much done. One setting is worth talking about though, and that's the fork setting or the fork option. What does this do?